Hey everybody, Fallout here, back with yet another God Roll video. Thanks to everyone for responding about what weapons you'd like to see covered, and today I'm going with the right side of wrong. A brand new pulse rifle in D2 Forsaken, which a lot of people are enjoying, myself included. Before we get started, let me say, not everyone is going to 100% agree on the same definition of a God Roll. Different players have different playstyles, and different players enjoy different perks for their own personal reasons. That being said, I'm still here to break things down for you and let you know what I think you should be looking for on your God Roll weapons, and like I said, today we're covering the best PvP rolls for the right side of wrong. So let's take a look at the gun, and this girl is thick. In a good way. The right side of wrong is a 450 RPM pulse rifle, putting it in the same archetype as the Nightshade, except the right side of wrong is an aggressive burst weapon, meaning that unlike the Nightshade, the right side of wrong can shoot 4 bullets per burst rather than 3. It's between a regular pulse rifle and the Vigilance Wing, a mini Lance Wing, if you will. It has a 35 impact, so the damage per bullet is as follows: 16 damage per bullet in the body, 27 per bullet in the head. Because it shoots 4 at a time, a full-on headshot with this bad boy clocks in at a total of 108 damage. Really accurate Guardians can lock up a 2-tap on any enemy of any resilience. The right side of wrong actually has a near identical sibling, the Go Figure, but where the Go Figure is a kinetic pulse rifle, the right side is in the elemental slot. Alright, what are we looking for on our God Roll right side of wrong? Let's start over in the far right category, as is tradition, and go backwards towards the barrel. Column 4, we apparently have 6 choices here: Rampage, Kill Clip, High Impact Reserves, Full Auto, Rangefinder, and Headseeker. Let's talk about perks we'd probably be better off without, and I'm about to stir up the pot by talking about a perk that I think a lot of people really seem to like, which I don't, which is Headseeker. Body shots with this weapon increase precision damage for a short time. I don't like the way that perk is worded because it's misleading. I think that most people assume Headseeker kind of works like Jade Rabbit. Shoot somebody in the body, and then in your next shot, your headshots will do more damage. Not quite. Let me break it down for you. Headseeker works like this. The only way you'll get more damage on your headshots is if at the beginning of your burst, at least one bullet hits the enemy in the body. Then, if the remaining bullets in that same burst continue upwards and hit the enemy in the head, those shots will do slightly more damage. It's all contained to just one burst of the pulse rifle. Huge emphasis on slightly more damage, by the way. From what I've seen across different pulse rifle archetypes, the extra damage comes in at about +2 per bullet. So let's use a little logic here. The most damage you could do with a right side of wrong Headseeker burst would be if your very first bullet in the burst hit the body, and the remaining 3 bullets landed in the head. That would be 16 for the initial body shot pellet, and 29 for the remaining 3 bullets in the same burst that go up to the enemy's head, clocking in at a total of 103 damage. That's less damage than what you would get from all headshots, which again would be 108 damage. Now, I'm not saying this perk is total garbage. It's forgiving for players who aren't always super accurate, but I think we can do better. Next up, we have High Impact Reserves, another no thank you. It makes you do more damage once you get to the bottom half of the magazine. First of all, running around with an intentionally low magazine is kind of a weird and dangerous tactic, but it would be worth it if the damage was rockin', but it ain't. High Impact Reserves takes your body shot damage from 16 per bullet to 17 per bullet, and your crit damage from 27 per bullet to 28 per bullet. Don't spend all that extra damage in one place, Tiger. Full Auto. Again, unlike shotguns, Full Auto on pulse rifles does not help out your RPM. It just makes shooting the gun easier. Not bad, but just learn when to pull the trigger and you'll be fine. Rangefinder. Now we're getting a little better. As I've mentioned before, several times in other videos, range in Destiny equals accuracy. So anything you can do to improve your weapon's range is good because you're going to be making your gun mildly more accurate. I wouldn't be upset if I got Rangefinder on my right side of wrong, but let's keep going. Rampage, a perk I've been singing the praises of for the past 2 God Roll videos. An extra 10% damage buff for every kill, stacking up to a possible 30%, but you know what? The winner here, IMO, is kill clip. Get 1 kill with your right side of wrong, reload it, and you are looking at a 30% damage buff for the next couple of seconds. Kill clip, as we all know, lasts noticeably longer than rampage, and unlike shotguns, which work very well with rampage, the right side of wrong spawns with plenty of ammo, because it's not a shotgun. So reloading for that hyper damage buff is a-okay. Makes cleaning up enemies in PvP way easier, and it's going to do way more for your damage output than Headseeker or high impact reserves could ever dream of doing. That's the winner if you're asking me. Moving on to column 3. 6 choices here: Outlaw, Moving Target, Firmly Planted, Zen Moment, Under Pressure, and Hip Fire Grip. Dear Under Pressure and Hip Fire Grip, we very much appreciate your application for the position of God Roll. Unfortunately, we do not have any openings available at this time. Leave your resume at the door and GTFO. Under Pressure gives you more stability as your magazine gets lower. More stability is nice if you play with a controller, but I appreciate perks that work for me all the time, not only when my magazine is near empty. And Hip Fire Grip. Do I really need to explain this one? Hip firing with a weapon designed to be used at range. You can figure that one out on your own. Another pass for me is going to be Firmly Planted. Increased accuracy, stability, and handling when firing while crouched. Usually in PvP, when shooting people, you want to strafe and make yourself harder to hit, not just stationary crouching in one place like a literal sitting duck. No, thank you. Zen Moment. Now we're getting somewhere. Extra stability is always appreciated unless you play on PC with a mouse, but I still think we can do a little better. Moving Target is one of my 2 winners in this category. Increased movement speed and target acquisition when moving while aiming down sight. Yes, there is almost no scenario where this perk does not help you with a weapon in PvP. Movement speed makes it easier to strafe while shooting, and better target acquisition helps you land your shots. I'm including this perk on what I'll call a demigod roll a little bit later on. Big shocker, the other winner here in my opinion is Outlaw. Get a precision kill and you get a faster reload. This perk encourages you to be accurate, which is what you want from a ranged weapon like the right side of wrong. And like other weapon combos we've seen, Outlaw pairs incredibly well with kill clip. Get a precision kill, reload your gun incredibly quickly, and have access to a big damage buff. Hell yes to all of that. But we're not done yet. Only 2 good perks a god roll does not make. Column 2, we have 8 choices here. This is where things get a little dicey. If you're playing on PC and you use a mouse, there is 100% no question about it. You are looking for accurized rounds, plus 10 to your range. Mouse players in Destiny who use pulse rifles care little about stability. It doesn't affect them the same way that it affects people who play with a controller. Controller users, take your pick. Accurized rounds, again, will be good for you because more range means better accuracy. But like I said, with a controller, you definitely care more about good stability. Steady rounds is viable, plus 15 stability, but the downside is you lose 5 range, which I kind of go back and forth on. Another good option is flared magwell, plus 5 stability and plus 15 reload speed with no downsides. Again, take your pick on this one. Column 1, barrel selection. This one is almost entirely personal preference, but if you ask me, you want to go with a short zoom scope or at most a medium zoom. I don't really care for long scopes on my pulse rifle. They're almost too jarring. Most Destiny PvP players who are really incredible with sniper rifles all go with short range scopes with a low zoom. Now, a pulse rifle is not a sniper rifle, but it's still the same school of thought. Easier to target people when you're not overly zoomed in. So with that in mind, 2 scopes you should look for are the Dusk Sight D1 and the King.K2. The Dusk offers plus 3 range with a 0 zoom factor, and the King.K2 offers plus 7 range with only a 2 zoom factor. If you're into medium scopes, the Dusk.D1 has a zoom factor of 3 and gives plus 7 range. Again, it depends on your preference and playstyle. And finally, the Masterwork core. If you're a PC player and you use a mouse, no question about it, you probably are looking for range. That's going to help you improve your damage drop-off point, and you have little to no use for stability. If you're on PC and you use a controller, or if you play on console, you are looking for range or stability one or the other. Stability matters way more to people who play controller, so if you have a right side of wrong and you feel the kick is too intense, well, guess what? You're looking for stability. If you use the weapon and feel like your shot is a-okay just the way it is, well, you're looking for a range masterwork. So let's recap. What is the PvP god roll for the right side of wrong? I actually have two rolls that I want to shout out, but let's start with the main squeeze. A short or medium zoom scope, accurized rounds for sure if you're on PC, and if you're on controller, accurized rounds, steady rounds, or flared magwell are all viable. Outlaw and kill clip. And if you're on PC, a range masterwork. If you play with a controller, a range or stability masterwork, depending on what feels better to you. Boom, there it is. Now I do want to give a special shout out to a slightly different role, the possible demigod role here, which I think is moving target and rangefinder. If you have that role, you are probably more likely to win your one-on-one engagements. Definitely more so than the outlaw kill clip combo. That's going to give you a better strafe and going to make you a hair more deadly at range. That being said, I just love the outlaw kill clip combo together because it has such huge potential for team wipe playmaking more than any other role on this gun, and that's my favorite thing. Besides, when's the last game you went into quick play and had a true one-on-one engagement go all the way through at range without getting interrupted? Exactly. Anyway, there you have it, a total breakdown of the perks to look for on your right side of wrong pulse rifle. If you happen to have a roll on this weapon or on any other pulse rifle that you really like, be sure to let me know about it down in the comment section. And while you're down there, let me know what other weapons you would love to see the god roll for in either PvP or PvE. Be sure to subscribe to my channel before you go to help me slowly but surely take over the world. Thanks for watching, see you next time.